Hello and welcome to our dubstep tutorial. Firstly, you're going to need a wobble bass. It's the key element of most modern dubstep and old dubstep for that matter. Anyway, so here's a patch, citrus I made. Citrus is the main thing I use for dubstep. You can use the wasp, also another thing that comes with Fruit Loops, but when it does give a heavier sound, it lacks that crispness that the citrus wins hands down on. Basically, it just has a more precise sound to it, whereas wasp, I'm not saying it's bad because I use it and it does sound good, but if you want that really sort of nice, I don't know, smoothness and crispness, if those two work together really, then you want the citrus. So we'll start. Basically, you'll start off with something that looks like that in operator 1, but I'm in operator 2 because I've already set that up. So it'll sound basic sine wave. Not great. So firstly, if you're going to make bass, a wobble bass, you want it to be a bass sound. So you drop these, divide each one by 2 to get the exact pitch match, so that you're not sort of playing a D on a C, which gives quite a nice deep sound. Next, you want to mess around with the shape of it. Now you really want it to be sort of semi-clipping, so that, well, that is actually clipping really badly, but yeah, sort of. But you want a sound that has a real sharp tone to it, so that you can get a good wobble on it. Otherwise, it's just going to sound like a sludgy mess. So that's obviously the harmonics. That's your basic shape of the sine wave. You've got the skew, which sort of, I call it the italicizer. Basically, you know how italic writing is sort of on the slant. It basically does that to your wave, and it changes it. Well, just mess around with it. Basically, you can hear what they do until you get, I don't know if you can hear that through my mic, but you've got a really sort of crisp high tone on it. That was harsh. Also, never play with this. White noise sounds crap. You heard it. You don't want to hear it again. Ear bleeding material. Anyway, so I've set up filter 2, but we're going to stick this into filter 3 just to show you how it works. Then I'll give you a demonstration. This is just a quick one. It won't sound that great. So firstly, you want to stick your operator into whatever filter you're using. You've got 3 choices, but you can always set up more citruses. Stick the output onto full. No, it doesn't sound that different. Maybe a little bit harsh on the old high tones, but never mind. That's just this cut here. And you hear how I was doing that. You saw how I was doing that. Basically, that's what's happening in this cut here. It's called an LFO, and it basically, well, you'll see. Firstly, you want to turn it on because otherwise it won't work. So you heard how that works. You don't want it to drift off slowly, so you want to bring that in. Turn the tempo on so that you can actually get a sort of sound that's matched to your tune speed. Now at the moment that doesn't sound good, because this basically determines where this LFO is centered around, this sort of frequency it's centered around. I often like the mid-range. It gives it sort of just sort of touching the crispness on the top. See what I mean about the crispness, because you're going to need it if you want any sort of crisp sound on here. I mean, if we had a normal, oh no, that's the wrong one. If we had any sort of get what I'm on about, hopefully. If you don't, never mind. Then you've got the speed. Perfect for those sort of breakdowny moments. Something a little bit quicker or something. Right, now you've got the envelope. This thing controls how closely, should I say, it sticks to this. You hear it's really cutting off there. There, it's not even cutting off at all. You've got nothing. So perhaps I should explain, probably earlier, how an wobble bass works. Basically, you've got a wave. In our case, that. Now that's utilising all of the frequency range. Well, not all of it, but a lot of frequency range. And basically, you're just shifting the frequency so that you've only got the bass in it and then coming back, bass in it, coming back, or in some cases the opposite way, where you keeping just the treble in it and coming back, letting the bass back in. And that's what gives you your sort of wobble bass. If I stick this in here and just cut this off, there's just the bass, there's the treble as well. Pretty poor example, but I'm sure you get it. That was just me doing it with the mouse, so obviously it's going to sound better with a computer doing it. So we'll let it back on. Perfect, there we go. So, well, not perfect, it's a crap example, but never mind. Never mess around with the resonance past about 33%, sort of a third of the way. After there, start getting some quite nasty sounds. Sometimes you want that, but not very often. Wave shaper. That's what I call terror dubstep. You don't want that at all. Well, perhaps you do on a bassier sound. So yeah, that's a bit major, but never mind. So there we go. Wobble bass galore. If I just turn that on, I've got a preset sorted out here, which I quite like, I believe. No, I did lie to you. I did lie. That's just sort of nice. Anyway, now you know how to make a, you know how to make a wobble bass. Lastly, in a pattern, you can set the automation of the wobble so that you get, oh, should have really shown you how to do that. Okay, so you've got speed, you right click, edit events, simple as that. Now this controls how fast the wobble is. We'll drop that down to there. I'll just stick a, so it's just going constantly. Obviously you'd set that up to actually be in time, so it may take a bit of precise tuning, but if it does, just zoom in with this thing, open that right up, it's like a little mouth. Then you can adjust it finely. But yeah, and that's often useful in this tune, so like stock sound's going to sound crap. But yeah, that's it basically, and that's your wobble bass.